All right, hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. Hey, Micah here, real quick, just talking about my experience, and maybe you clicked on this video for the reason that you've had a similar experience with this company. Big company, right? Big corporation, at least part of it. The Walmart, Walmart itself, right? But also a card that they actually sell. It's a debit card. It's called Walmart Green Dot Money Card, right? You might be familiar with it. It's a prepaid type of card you can get from their store. You can't overdraft it. It has a small monthly fee, I think $3, and I had a relative with one of these cards, had it for a long time, and in this case we're talking about a charge for about $200, right? And already had a subscription with the same company that this charge appeared to be from, right? And in this case is actually Microsoft, right? That had this monthly subscription with Microsoft in the past on this card, so it's not like never did business with that company, but there was a transaction for about $200 that didn't, like, even though it seems to say Microsoft on the transaction, it doesn't seem to be any way to identify this transaction. And I was able to contact Microsoft 3 times, which is not easy, right? Maybe you've also dealt with Microsoft, which, I don't want to bring them into the equation because maybe it's, I don't know if it's them that actually made the charge. I still don't know if, it's like legitimate charge from Microsoft. Maybe did they make an error and somehow make this charge for something that we can't figure out what it is. But the big problem is Walmart Green Dot Money Card, right? Their customer service is, for one thing, it's very bad, right? So please do comment and let me know. And the customer service number too, I've called it multiple times, and so it's right online. But when you call them, they're not even probably in America. So, if you're in America, for example, trying to get service from them. Um, Let me see here if I can find this number. Customer service number. So it's this number here. It's 1-866-795-7597. Right? 1-866-795-7597. Now, if you have never had an experience with them, I'm not asking you to judge Walmart based on just what I say. I'm looking for those who have had this experience, or maybe you're thinking about getting one of these Walmart Green Dot Money cards, and it just really is a very frustrating experience, right? Over a period of several months, because they have a 90-day dispute, and it's kind of like you send this dispute forms to them, right? And then they say they're going to provision you this money until they finish this dispute, or this investigation into the charge that you're disputing, right? They say they're going to provision this money, but then I guess you have to fill out a form. So this wasn't even my account; it was for a relative. So it's kind of like I'm trying to help them deal with this, right? And this person's a senior, so it's kind of hard. I'm trying to help them navigate this thing, and so the situation is just like I'm trying to help them figure out what this charge is for. But when I contact Green Dot Money Card, helping them file this dispute and everything, Walmart, after 90 days, right, 90 days of this dispute over this, somewhat small charge. It's not like a huge. It's good enough to be annoying that it's just missing from your account for seemingly no good reason, right? It's like you're being ripped off, right? And but at the same time, Walmart takes 90 days to investigate it, right? So I'm figuring what they're going to be doing in this investigation is they're surely going to be contacting Microsoft directly, since this charge appears to be from Microsoft, right? And even though I contacted Microsoft 3 times myself, and in those 3 times, 2 of them over the phone, and one of them through their online type of custom, somehow got them in an online help chat, and that was very lengthy, annoying processes. But all 3 of those times, they weren't able to find this transaction, and weren't able to find them on anybody's Xbox or Microsoft accounts, right? Microsoft accounts, you really didn't have any purchases from there except for like a subscription for a few like for a little while. So it's hard to imagine what the charge is for related to just a monthly subscription, because nobody knows of any authorized payment other than just the subscription, this monthly subscription. So that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of. What is this one payment for $200, for about $200? So, like I said, 90 days taken to get to the bottom of this dispute, and Walmart determines that it's a legitimate transaction, right? So Okay, well, maybe somehow it is a legitimate transaction. And we're just not, can't figure out, remember what we did, what did we buy, what was the purchase for, right? So, but the bottom line is that Walmart, they didn't get any kind of identification information for this transaction, implying that they didn't even call or actually talk to Microsoft potentially. And they wouldn't say that they did, right? They say we may or may not. They use a lot of that kind of language, right? And when you're talking to their customer service reps, for one thing, I got cut off and like the phone just disconnects while you're on the call with them for whatever reason, multiple times, right? I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but it certainly feels potentially like it could be, right? And I'm not like yelling at them or telling them off or anything, right? Trying to get some clear answers on what this transaction is. Did they do a real investigation? And, but they didn't seem to take a very clear investigation. They sent some paperwork back, a reply, a conclusion or just decision type of paper or something like that, right? And it's saying some stuff in there about different circumstances that are making them conclude that this is a legitimate transaction that aren't really definitive, right? They're not saying they called Microsoft or any of that stuff. They're just saying, oh, well, it appears that since you've had a history of purchases or, like a subscription with Microsoft, I guess, or whatever, that it must be legit. Like they're just speculating overall, right, to come to their conclusion, which, like, I could kind of get that. I mean, maybe there's a couple elements to it that looked kind of funny, like there was money deposited into that account that same day, which was just as confusing to me and the person who held the account. So this is just my experience, right? Now, at the same time, doing a second dispute and even sending further proof from at least a couple of Microsoft accounts that, my Microsoft account and the person's Microsoft, the account holder's Microsoft account, that have, there's no evidence of any purchase for $200 or, that purchase, there's no evidence of it. So we sent that in, right, for a second time. Now, I just sent that in not long ago, and then I call their customer service number, the one I just recited, and you can find online, Walmart Green Dot Money Card Customer Service. And if you had an experience, maybe, I encourage calling them and let them, call Walmart, maybe customer service, and let them know how you're treated by Walmart Green Dot Money Card if you've had this experience. Maybe you've had a great experience with them. Same time, this person had this account with Walmart Green Dot Money Card for a while, so it's not like it was like an ongoing issue that this would happen. But I think there was a dispute in the past of some similar type of thing, but it seemed like it was cleared up okay. But in this case, right, they're concluding that this was a legitimate transaction, but not providing any evidence that they even did a full investigation, and no evidence or identification of this transaction that I would be able to call Microsoft back and say, hey, okay, well, this transaction, my bank is saying that such and such, they didn't give me any kind of information like that. You'd figure they would call Microsoft and get to the bottom of what that transaction is, but if they're not able to do that, I have no clue how they would, you'd figure they would be able to do that. I would, but maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm assuming too much, right? But like I said, they're just concluding this based on speculation. So, what kind of the fraud protection do they really have, right? When you have this Walmart Green Dot Money Card, if you put $500 on there, or $1,000 or more, or however much you can put on one, I don't know. But if a good amount of money was missing, or are they going to just say, oh, it looks like you did, I mean, there's a good amount of $200 is a good amount of money, but I'm just saying, even more, what if it's worse, right? So I'm just saying you might have that scenario in using them. So if you're thinking about getting a Walmart Green Dot Money Card, I recommend, and this may be tempting because it's convenient for some reasons, like they don't have overdraft fees or they have a low monthly fee or whatever. I get it. It's tempting, and if you do, I just recommend using it with great caution. But honestly, you don't want to deal with their customer service department, right? For one thing, it's probably in some other country with some people you can hardly communicate with unless you're maybe, of the same language or something, right? For one thing. And, this is the thing, they're writing in this return letter that they sent back saying about their decision. They're like literally, I don't want to say they're lying. I don't want to say that, but they're making stuff up that wasn't really part of the conversation and talking about an inconsistency in some part of the, they're miscommunicating, they're misunderstanding something is what that is. Or either that or intentionally manipulating something. Like they're trying to, make it sound like as if there's some good reason to dismiss our claim, right? But it's not really definitive evidence. of anything, right? So if that makes sense. So let me know. Please drop a comment or please do like and share. I'd like to get this message to you because believe me, I'd like to expose, the way they've been treating people. And it's not to say there's no reason, no room for correction of that, but I see other people having the same complaint. They've had this problem with Walmart Green Dot money cards specifically, right? And another company that I've had similar type of customer service with, right, is Xfinity. Xfinity, Comcast Xfinity, but especially Xfinity Mobile, right? Xfinity Wireless, which I had for a while and I still have a little while for, because they got these contracts and stuff like that, right? For one thing, which, it's kind of understandable to some degree. Maybe you bought a new phone and you got some kind of deal or something like that. But with Xfinity Wireless, they got the same kind of customer service problems that you get with like Walmart Green Dot money card, right? Let me know if you did have an experience. Maybe this helps you to clarify or, reach some closure, and maybe you had a transaction. I don't know, that something like that happened. The money was missing from your account. In this case, like you said, maybe it's somehow legitimate. I can't get to the bottom of it, right? So I'm calling my identity theft protection agent and going to see if we can help get some assistance with that. To get further, the thing is, one other thing I wanted to mention is too, is like as soon as I called them back, telling them about the second mail and we sent with the proof that there was nothing on our Microsoft accounts, right, no purchases, I sent that to them, and then I called them back, and then they say they got this information, and I don't know if there's a final conclusion. Well, they said they're going to do another investigation. They're opening the investigation back up, right? But then just a couple hours later, I get an email back from them saying that they've concluded that this is a legitimate transaction. Like, they didn't do any more investigation. I don't know if I'm not sure if they're still doing. Maybe that was a fluke, or I'm not sure why I got that email, but that's what it says. Like, as if they didn't do any investigation and they just concluded, like, just after I got off the phone with the guy that's acting like he's reopening this investigation and making, they even sent an email saying they're reopening the investigation, but just a couple hours later, getting an email right away saying that they've concluded, like, which doesn't make any sense. Like, they can see these two accounts that don't have any transaction on them. I only have one other person that, has a Microsoft account in my whole family that, like, and I even checked that and there was nothing on there as well, but he's not associated with it in any way. So it's just, even if, like, there's just nothing, but the bottom line, even in that account, there is no purchases. So I just have no clue where this is from. But yeah, like I said, Walmart Green Dot money card. Anyway, let me know if you've had a similar experience, and I certainly encourage avoiding using them, at least for now, right? Unless they decide to provide some satisfaction to their customers, in my opinion. Especially for people who are actually possibly getting ripped off, right? Anyway, thanks for listening. I appreciate you. Like, share, comment, or maybe come back and check out some other videos. Until next time, thanks for listening.